Hey everybody, Mark Lewis Wagner here with the Graffiti Wars Kickstarter newsletter. Thank you very much for everybody for enjoying and coming along on the ride. It's been a good thing and it's happening. So let me share about where I'm at right now with the process. What I've been doing for the last bunch of videos is introducing characters and even the tugboat and the whale, Garuda. And so now I'm going to talk about a scene. So what's happened is that this big storm has rolled in, and it's wiped out Garuda and the tugboat, which is the Z4, and Hiro, who's the pilot. And the storm took no prisoners. It's a wonder Hiro and Garuda actually survived. So, I have descriptions, and then I'm writing this as a screenplay just because I can't stand the he said, she said language. So, and script is great for future, whatever this is like, can be the concept art and script for a book or a movie project. So, they kind of get together and get their things online happening, but the navigation doesn't work and they're basically lost. And, they take off together. And the way that I have in my imaginary fantasy world is that there's this tugboat that connects to this whale and they fly around, right? Why not? So, the tugboat's got hand drawing on it, and then there's computer pieces where I just hand draw and then I add some, light and shadow, and I add some extra forms of movement and drop shadows. And then this is a sunset or sunrise or sunset from out here in New Mexico. So I've combined it. I've combined a couple layers. That's how I make my pieces. And they're traveling around, and Hiro sees something, or Garuda kind of sees it first, and starts to move down closer to this kind of sandy. A bunch of the whole story takes place in this kind of nowhere land where the ocean tide is out, but it's just wet sand, and it goes on forever. So this is one of the worlds where a lot of the book takes place. The other place is in the psych hospital where Hiro is in another time, I guess. And then Birde is she's one of the time travelers. She's traveling around through time trying to actually find Hiro. And if you remember, she put him in a psych hospital in the past so that he could make some art that the future needs, and also to keep him safe from the god of war, who's trying to not have any of this happen because war knows it will get put out of business. So Hiro sees something, and as he comes down, this is the scene I'm gonna talk about, and each one has a kind of a title, and then it's got a Spotify playlist. So this is a really beautiful song. And there's this submarine that's breached and laying on its side, and there's even some vegetation growing around it and some water running around it. It's obviously been there for a long time. And so this is the piece of art that I'm working on, and I will redraw Garuda, and I'll redraw the tugboat with some drop shadows. And so I got him. Actually, I have to look at this piece in the print because this is actually the gutter. And so that means I'm going to lose this information. So now that I'm looking at this, I have to redesign this page. The gutter is where you fold the book. So you've got to stay away from that. So that's a good thing for me to know right now. So I've got some text. So he comes down, and Garuda's kind of nervous, and so he comes down and walks over to this sub, and I'm still working on all of these pieces of art. So I put in a placeholder of Hiro, and I've got some kind of computer stuff happening there where he looks inside and there's still some lights, some LED blinking on. So there's obviously some solar things. Oh, and here he notices that there's kind of these weird things that are on this around the submarine objects. And, it looks like someone actually lived here for a while or did something, and then that it's abandoned. So he goes in very slow, cautiously, checks the Geiger counter. That's the only thing that's working on his watch. And again, these pieces are all going to be being worked on. But he walks in and he starts seeing some vegetation, and then he hears these little sounds. And as he walks over to like a little creek, there's trickling of the water, and there's these objects that he sees, and I'm going to redraw these or move these around again. Like, this is how I make a book. Like, you stick it in there and then you keep working it. So this is a very fast silhouette drawing of when he picks up these prayer wheels, right? And I will redraw these. He picks up these prayer wheels and he goes, I've seen these in pictures before in history books. Like, these are prayer wheels. And he picks up one, and there's a couple things that happen. And he flashes on Birde when she actually sent him to the psych hospital. So there's kind of this overlapping of realities that happen. And there's a bird that flies, and he sees a dead person there. He sees a Native American Indian that's dressed in army fatigues, wearing a feather and a bandana. And it looks like a decorated ranger or a special ops person, and someone that deserved a lot of respect. And so, the way that I've drawn these is just I hack through them really quickly, and then over time, then I come back and I'll do another pass, and I'll do another pass until it feels like I have it the way that I want it. So here's a scene where he sees this dead Indian soldier who's like around this desk, and then he sees all these prayer flags or these prayer wheels. And here's another one of them that I'm working on. He sees all these prayer wheels. And I like this one because he's looking across and he sees this dead Indian. And I have to redraw the face because that's actually somebody else's artwork. And so he realizes that this dead person was making all these prayer flags. And then there's an owl that flies and spooks him. And he looks across and he actually sees a ghost. He sees this soldier's ghost. And this ghost, actually have it so he's looking at him, but might have to change that around. The ghost is actually working on prayer wheels. The prayer wheels. And Hiro's not freaked out. Like, it's weird and it's spooky, but everything's so crazy. And he goes over, and the ghost is actually working on the prayer wheels and writing, and he writes something that says, you are the one we've been waiting for. And then he turns and he looks at Hiro, and then he disappears. So Hiro's a little freaked out, but what he does is, I love this music by, this is from Tron, the second Tron movie, the Daft Punk. So this energy is like, it just starts picking up. It's like, whoa, something's happening. So I have to redraw this one, but this one is being outside of the submarine. And what Hiro's doing is he's fixing up all of the, some of the really big prayer wheels. I have to do this whole drawing over. And he's fixing them up. And then all of a sudden the wind starts to pick up. And the wind like starts blowing one at a time, and then it starts blowing all of them. And Hiro looks up and he sees that there's a big storm coming. And so they start to get out of there. And when he gets on his tugboat on top of Garuda, somebody has spray painted the word ghost, and it's spelled G-O-A-S-T. Somebody has spray painted. Hiro doesn't even see it, but somebody has tagged the submarine. I mean the tugboat, and then they take off. I have a quote there by Michael Mead, and then it goes into, then it cuts, and it goes into another scene. So that's my share today. One of the scenes, one of my favorite scenes in this second book. There's probably, there's several scenes that they're just like, oh, this is a good scene, and I can't wait to get to it. And it's going to be, like 6 or 8 or 10 pages, double page spreads. It's just going to be this one scene where you can really drop into something and hang out. So thanks again. Appreciate everybody. Big love and art.